What's going on, guys? So every time I come out here I see the Yukon, and I always wonder, like, what if a video like this ever got 1,000,000 views? What could I do with the ad revenue to this truck right here? But I don't think it'll ever get 1,000,000 views on a video like this, but it's just a thought. So since I'm out here and I haven't checked her out in a while, I'll go ahead and show you right now what it looks like. Let me go ahead and open it up real quick. You can see right here, I already went ahead and started taking stuff apart because I was trying to get stuff out of here because I don't want them to get stolen or anything like that. And also, like, I don't need them in the truck. And I also did start using some of it on the Tahoe, but like on this I had taken off the door panel off for the door handles, and so I went ahead and put the stock one back on. On the subwoofers, I did take them off because I was gonna sell them, and I'll probably be selling this as well if anybody wants to buy it. But this is real heavy, so it's hard to ship and stuff like that. And then this is the interior right here. So let me go on the other side right here. Oh yeah, and she does have the bumper from the Tahoe. But yeah, like I said, I mean, I don't know, the channel doesn't even have 1,000,000 views, but anything is possible, I guess. And this is in the back over here. So I also put the stock Tahoe door handles back on here, and I took the Yukons off. And then stuff is just around here. I removed all the speakers, and that's what it looks like over here. So I haven't really messed with it too much because I don't really want to mess with it that much. And over here on the passenger side, also I did remove the pods, the door handles, and then I also did take the whole dash apart because I started taking off, like, the radio and all that stuff right there, real quick. So I just didn't really care. So yeah, that's what she looks like over here. I'll go on the driver's side as well. And on the wheels, I did end up putting some 17-inch stock wheels. The vent caps are from the Tahoe right there, so those are factory. And then this, is just like that because they don't have no glass right now. And under here where I had the amplifiers, I can go ahead and show you right here. Like, I just had a board. So this was a long time ago, when I started working on cars and stuff. And I had done so many systems that, at some point I didn't get no time, and I would just, like, randomly put stuff in there. But that's also why I want to redo the Tahoe, better. And, this is where the big amp was at, and I'll show you on the other side right now. So on the passenger side, right over here. So this is where the 4-channel was at, and, like I said, all the wiring was there. At one point, it was all neatly done. But over time with work and all that stuff, like, it took so much time that I had to just hurry up and do it. So that's why I had a lot of wiring and stuff like that. But that's why I want to do the Tahoe in a different way, and make it better. Everything was connected properly, but I was just in a hurry, so I would just do stuff like this. And this was like through many installs and stuff like that. And if you notice, also what I had done before was put these brackets right here. So on this one and then those two, where I would lock the seats down so that nobody steals your amps and stuff like that. So I screwed them down in the bottom, because people like to come and steal your amps or break in cars and stuff like that. So that's how I had them right there, and right now they're off, but that's what it looks like. And that way they wouldn't get up under here, because where we live, they like to break in cars and stuff like that. So all that wiring is old, and I'll probably I would have to redo all that stuff right there. And the headliner still looks good, so that one's just missing a piece because I had took it off, but I had braced it with wood under there, and you can see there. And on my roof, I had all dynamatted and put some wood on here, so that's why there's wood right here, because it was flexing a lot with the woofers. And I had just a LED strip here for the dome light. So the mirrors, I had took them off, and I think I sold these, so I went ahead and just like covered up the hole so that water wouldn't get in. And right up here in the front on the driver's side, I also started using some of the stuff here, so that's why it's all hanging around. I think I had took off like the switch from the power mirrors when I was doing the mirror, so I took this one. This one doesn't work, so this is from the Tahoe, and I took the one from the Yukon. The steering wheel's here, so all the dashboard is apart. The alarm is actually still working, so I have that hooked up. And the steering wheel, this one's all good. So there's my steering wheel there. And I also did on the steering wheel, I did remove the plastic cover that goes right here, and I went ahead and used it for my Tahoe. And I'll show you guys that later on as well. And on here, you know, I took all my radio stuff off. I just have like the RCAs and all that stuff. So the bezel, all that stuff I took off. And there's a whole bunch of wiring everywhere because over the years, you know, like just adding stuff. And then that's why, you know, now I like to do certain stuff a different way, you know. So how I've learned over time that, you know, to make stuff different and more like easier to access and work with, you know, because later on, whenever you start doing stuff like that, you know, like it gets kind of complicated. And now that I've learned a little bit more, you know, that's why I want to do stuff differently, and you know, to where it's easier to take off or, you know, mess with right there. But this is what the interior looks like. And then the airbag right here, you know, got deployed. And on the airbag right here, I had cut off the bag, like the excess, because it was just hanging around. And you know, the dashboard is all cracked up. Part of it was the subwoofers, but also, you know, the sun and all that, so that's probably why it cracked. And on the windshield right here, it did crack when I crashed it, but also it did have some rock chips, so I think that had something to do with it as well. And here you can see better the cracks on the windshield. They got cracked. And I'll go ahead and show you under the hood right now. And here you can see, you know, the frame got all damaged and everything, so I would probably have to replace the frame because I'm pretty sure if it gets welded, it won't be like 100% anymore. And I think it would be easier or cheaper to do a frame swap than to repair this frame. So, you know, that's also why I didn't really want to mess with it right there. On the plugs, I just added some bags on them because, you know, I didn't want them to corrode when it rains and stuff, but I just covered them up real quick. And under the hood, I did start taking it apart to work on the Tahoe. So this is what it looks like right now. The block is open right here because I already took off this head, and my headers are already loose because I was going to take these off. And I did take off this side, and this head is already loose. So I had started taking it apart, and then, you know, I kind of lost interest right there because I had to do other stuff. But, you know, this is what it looks like. So I just kind of left it open. And most likely this block is probably bad now or something, or it is going to go bad because it's just sitting here and it's open. And you can see, you know, stuff is all getting inside here. But, yeah, I kind of just, like, lost interest on it right now. But, you know, maybe, like I said, I wonder if a million views would ever do anything to this, even though nobody wants to be, you know, seeing something like this, which is like not an install or, you know, nothing special. And here the excess power is actually doing pretty good. So sure, if this was a standard battery, you know, it would have been dead a long time ago. So that one is pretty good. So I just left it on there. I don't really mind moving it right now, but I did remove the system wires and stuff like that, so they don't have to be pulling extra power. A lot of stuff is damaged right here. So this is broken where the alternator goes, you know. And you can see right here where the radiator's all pushed in, but it actually didn't leak, so it actually works because this is just the aluminum part. So if the plastic part would have broke, then yeah, that's when it would have leaked. So since the plastic parts on the sides did not break, that's also how I got the truck to drive up the driveway, because, you know, it didn't leak over with this. The only thing that was leaking was the transmission cooler, and it leaked out of some of the lines, even though they're aluminum, but they got bent to where, you know, it leaked it out. But it was enough to get it to park, and, you know, after that I didn't move it because I didn't want to mess up the transmission or the motor. But like I said, even though I think the motor is now getting messed up since I opened it up and, you know, I haven't messed with it or covered it, I just kind of left it alone, you know, because like I said, I mean, you lose interest over time, but, you know, maybe something will happen later on and I can fix it up. And, you know, so it's just sitting right here. And I had took off the oil pressure sensor, so I had put that right there. But even though, you know, that's small compared to this big piece right here, which I should have covered, but, you know, it's fine. And I wanted to use these on the Tahoe, but, you know, it's hard with time and all that, so I kind of just stopped. And that's why it's all open and stuff. But, you know, I wanted to take them all off, and I did manage to take off this long tube header, and that's why I'm still missing that one over there. But it's already loose, I just got to pull it off. So maybe later on I'll take that one off whenever I want to put them in the Tahoe, and, you know, I'll just leave it there for now because I'm not in a hurry to take it out. The truck's not even running right now. And down here, if you can see, I actually had replaced the upper control arms with these Michigan Metalworks. As you can kind of see the logo right there. They're kind of dusty, but they're like a shiny red or candy red. They're supposed to be candy red, but, you know, they just look red. And I was working on the video on it, and I didn't get a chance to film it, but, you know, maybe I could put these on the Tahoe or something. And they were actually expensive, so they're just sitting there now. And the same way over here, you just can't really see them, so you can hardly see them. There they are, they're all dusty. They're just kind of dusty sitting there, but you can kind of see them right there. So that's the control arms. Control arms, bro. And sometimes I don't even want to touch it because if you notice, there's actually like a whole bunch of bees down there. So they're all over the truck. There was actually a little nest, and I had took it off from there. But overall, you know, the truck doesn't look too dirty, even though it's been sitting for a while. So that's also why I like this pewter metallic color. And for you guys that wanted to know, this is actually the first truck that I ever bought. So you know, that I ever had on my name and everything. So that's the first one right there. So that's probably also why I like, you know, or try to keep her around and see if I can ever, you know, do something with it. I don't even know what 1 million views would even do towards this, but you know, I have an idea of what I wanted to do. And I know this video right here won't get 1 million views, and even the channel as a whole doesn't have that, but you know, it's fine. I guess we'll never know what 1 million views will do to this truck, but you know, miracles happen, so I guess. Oh,